No, not when you say injury free. I think we need to rephrase that. They were not plagued as much as with much injury.
Yeah, of course. That's the word. Though.
Now, if you look at it, 2023-2024 season, Manchester City won the league with 91 points, and Arsenal was second with 89 points. Liverpool were third with 82 points. If you come to 2022-2023, Man City won with 89 points. Arsenal were second with 84 points, and then Manchester United were third with 75 points. 2021-2022, Man City won with 93 points. Liverpool were second with 92 points. Arsenal were Tottenham, Chelsea were third with 74 points. Tottenham fourth with 71 points, and Arsenal were fifth with 69 points. So. And then that was the last time that Arsenal kissed fifth, and they've been second consecutively for 3 seasons. Now, when you look at that record, and then you look at Manchester, and you look at today's record, it's very funny that 83 points is what's winning the league. You know, and then the question is, how abysmal were the rest of the team? Because 83 points was never enough to win you the league. 83 points was never enough to make you become champion. So this is about one of the lowest times where you win in recent times, where you win with such little point. And I'm thinking that for Arsenal played, when you look at it, this season Arsenal has played 14 draws. Out of those 14 draws, if Arsenal had won just 5, if they had won 5 and drawn 1, that means they would have 10 more points, which would put them at 81. So if they had won 7 out of those draws, because some of those draws were from winning positions, some were from especially the first 3 or 4, and then there were cards and injuries and all of that. That means that if they had won just 7, that's 21 points.
If I will remember, at least Man City winning, we were 97 1 minute away from winning. Brighton red card, Liverpool 2-2. You know, we were just like few minutes away.
So I would say that this is not the best of Liverpool team.
I agree.
This is not the best of the season. This is not the best of what we're looking at. And for anyone, especially for pundits who are coming out at Arsenal and berating them, I think that you need to check. If I have to sit in front of Patrice Evra, for instance, I'll say to him that, Alaye, look, it's a 38 game league. You guys are not doing too well. Stop trying to distract. I think that a lot of Manchester United ex-players turned pundits, actually spoke more about Arsenal's problem than about United's problem.
We are not even doing well at all.
You know, and we were not seeing it. We didn't even know how abysmal Manchester United were this second half of the season, that all they could only pick 9 points from January till now. I mean, it's terrible, but what are we going to do? So looking forward, what do you think United need to do to attract the kind of players that would move the club forward? Of course, there's so much talk about Matheus Cunha haven't signed for you. There's a talk about Victor Osimhen. Extreme speculation. Now that you're not playing,
it's extreme speculation, right?
Now it's not just extreme speculation for me with Victor Osimhen. I think that with what he has done with Galatasaray, he would rather stay in Galatasaray and play in the Champions League, right, than come to Manchester United
that goes nowhere
and not play in the Champions League.
And mind you, if he chooses to have a pay cut, I think having a pay cut should also come with the incentive of Champions League football for him, if he chooses to. But the thing is that there even shouldn't be a discussion about pay cuts when it comes to Victor Osimhen. But let's even agree that he chooses to have a pay cut, then it's got to be a team that have the potential to advance in the Champions League. But you guys don't even have the potential to even play. You're not playing in the Champions League. You're not playing even in the Seminar League. You know,
why does it sound like this is a shot at Shola? It's like a shot at Shola.
Actually, it's a shot at Shola.
Shola Kuti, they are the ones that I'm saying. I'm just imagining it. How will UEFA? No. How will UEFA name a league that's meant for champions as a conference league. That means you guys are packing your bag and you're coming to sit down and talk football. Conference.
Shola Kuti, one banked one few days ago. We go again next week. I am coming for you, bro.
I said nothing.
Okay, well, for me, it's actually the old conference league thing and me calling it workshop or whatever. It's just me being pissed at UEFA for it. Give it a better name, please. I mean, you took a cup winners' cup that Arsenal won, and you changed the name and you gave us Champions League. I mean, and you gave us Europa League, and that's very elevating.
Yeah.
You cannot argue with it. You understand? You created a second one. That's Europa League.
Europa again.
Then you're not creating another one. Sorry. You took the one that Arsenal won. You named it Europa League. We cannot argue with it. It sounds like, okay, this is for all the other clubs in Europe who didn't, win, come first. Good. And it's not even for first Champions League for first, second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think that we really need to have a rethink and say, wait, so second, third, fourth is actually champions at the end of the day, and that means Arsene Wenger is right.
Of course.
Yeah. Is that finishing top four is
in that context
what's celebrated.
Exactly.
And then you took the one that Arsenal won and you changed it to Europa League. Nobody can argue with that name. And then why conference? Why not give me a better
The
name?
Europa Conference League. Yeah.
Do you call it? It's too much. Do you call it Europa Conference League?
It's the brand.
Even the UEFA Champions League, we don't call it UEFA Champions League. It's straight up Champions League.
Yeah.
What you doing to is too sweet.
To me, I just feel.
I don't know who came up with that idea.
See, I'm sorry, UEFA. I don't know, but probably you guys are just creating this particular competitions for your own
For
good.
much more.
Well, also you need to understand
for
that.
sticks.
I think that the Conference League came up in order to avoid. It was one of those.
The Super League thing here and
the
all
Champions
that.
League old drama came up. Increasing Champions League stay came up so to avoid the Super League, and then the Europa League thing came up. The Conference League thing came up just to avoid Super League. So there's a likelihood that you see 10 clubs from the Premier League playing in Europe.
In Europe.
Facts.
So how do you want to go and do Super League? Will Super League be for 15, 16, 17? Sorry, I'm not talking about you.
That's a shock.
But let's move on quickly. Now the weekend is over. So what do you think Man United need to do to attract those top players?
Man, at this moment, it takes a lot of convincing to bring one top player that he already knows he's not going to Champions League. So what is the project or what is the package now? Are we sure that we can be able to qualify for Champions League the next season or something? Because chasing the title in the Premier League at this moment with the current crop of players, to me, it's not realistic. It's not realistic. There needs to be a total overhaul. Even though any person, let's just say hypothetically, Osimhen wants to come, surely he will look at the current squad. It will be like,
who will give me pass? Who will pass ball? Give me.
That kind of thing. So there must be some kind of like setup that can make players look like, okay, I don't mind. I will be part of this because I believe that we are heading somewhere. You can't take it away from the fact that what Arteta has done with us now is just the same thing. All those players, many of them were from different places, different leagues and all that, but like there's this setup that, okay, we are trying to get to this point from point A to point B and this is what we want to do. It's clear. And we see the improvement on their games. Even though you may not say Banting, we might say there's no trophies, but we enjoy watching their games. We enjoy seeing how they are maturing over time. We enjoy seeing how these players, they are playing like a unit. You see, that is the thing. And that is not what you're seeing in the current squad. Maybe if there's a package that, maybe one PowerPoint show that Amorim will give to all those potential players to come say, okay, watch this our PowerPoint. This is what we want to do.
And sadly, except the board decides to bring him in bring him in from the moment they start to negotiate with players. But I'll say this, and I'll keep saying it everywhere I go, that Amorim would have to restructure his language. I can't be a player who understands that football has some good and bad times, and then I'm hearing my coach say we will suffer. I'm hearing my coach throw a player under the bus. Why did you not start Garnacho? Maybe you saw him in the last match. He lost 2 chances. If indeed he said that, and it makes me sad because at the end of the day, I would not want to play for you. Players these days are different. Players don't want to prove a point. They want to swell the wallet. They want the banks to swell because there's image rights. There's a lot. They want their families to be okay. When Moise Caicedo said to us that, look, I'm playing for my family, we all came at him. He doesn't have what loyalty. The only person that will be loyal to him if his leg is broken, and who is loyal to Abu Dhabi? Do you get? If not his family, you can imagine if Abu Dhabi doesn't, the little money he earns, maybe he didn't help 1 or 2 persons in his close circle. He's probably going to be left alone. Who's loyal to Emmanuel Eboue when he lost everything? You get so at the end of the day, these players also want to. It's no longer about. It's not just about sweat, blood, and badge. It's about family life and after football.
Yeah.
Because they've actually learned from their role models or the guys behind you after them or before. No, rather.
All of us
them.
can condemn JJ now that he's so good to play for Real Madrid, but he chose Bolton.
Bolton at the time.
But I feel that JJ knew what he was doing. Yes, he said he just wanted a club where he would be respected. But above all, he wants a club where I will look back and say, yes, my family is okay.
Exactly.
Look at the Arama. I've played football.
Everywhere, Marama.
Everywhere cool, everywhere nice.
Everywhere settled.
but quickly now, we'll still do this. Shemus Hams, Arsenal. Yeah, not too bad, not too poor, but everyone's butt of the joke. What do you think your team needs to do? Champions League is secured already. Second position secured. Champions League secured. All the talks we're hearing talks about Gyökeres. Also, I'm hearing talks now that you want to contest for Julian Alvarez with Liverpool. Julian Alvarez from Atletico Madrid. I think he left Man City for
Atletico.
And I think that would be a good buy. But what do you think your club need to do just to change this whole narrative that, especially, I'd like to say Arsenal change that narrative because of Patrice Evra.
Okay, I think I like the fact that we've actually secured
Champions League.
Not even that, our technical director
Andrew Better.
So I'm fine. See, in Andrew
that would even help you with if indeed you're going for Julian Alvarez.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
You know, I think Andrew Better is a very, very good guy and he knows his job very well. So Arsenal is in safe hands to me.
Okay.
We all in fact, even the enemies knows what Arsenal wants. And they've been singing it to our ears. Hey, striker. And if you guys have striker, you'd have won everything. But now, everybody knows what we want. We just want a striker. And just little back off with the guys. For the guys, that's all.
So between Alvarez, Gyökeres, Sesko, who would you prefer?
Definitely
in your order.
100.
In that order?
Gyökeres.
No, in the order of preference.
Just those three?
Preference and
Osimhen.
Arsenal is not going for
Osimhen.
I thought I had speculations about that.
But I won't be surprised if you just hear tomorrow, bam. Because
You know how the whole transfer can be very funny.
But let's look at the ones that they've been linked to.
I think for me, Gyökeres, Alvarez, then Sesko.
So Sesko is the last option.
Of course.
Same for you for Arsenal. For Manchester United and Co, they've linked you with almost everybody. That's they've linked you with everybody that they can copy and paste.
That their team from goalkeeper to front. I don't know what they need. They know what they need.
No. See,
they need a revival.
See, I've always said this about the goalkeeping part. Before we bought Onana, we've seen him. He's not that bad.
Okay.
I'll just say he has just been unfortunate. Unfortunate in the sense that you have sometimes a very messy defense.
First Manchester United fan in a long while does not train Onana under the bus. I'll give you the accolade.
In fact, I want to appreciate you. Before we continue, I want to appreciate you for coming to the show. Even after your defeat the other day against Tottenham. For real, it takes courage to come and face an Arsenal fan.
Well, I don't do.
I won't lie to you.
Well, I don't do.
I applaud you, bro.
This part,
It's not easy. I was ready for, now. What do you want to take bounce me today? Nothing, bro.
Okay,
You
so
did 60 hours, man.
so the other issue.
The another issue here, I think I've said some things about that, and let me say something. If you look at the team mentality so far, it is something to be questioned. You have a team that at any slight misses or that, everybody's shouting at each other and all that. There's no. I don't see that strong galvanizing spirit or bond from the captain that, hey, you guys keep focus. But then it's the captain that is usually always the one to first do the outburst, and everybody seems to be like, shall just play your own part, let me just do what I'm doing.
So making those spoil for my head, and if it's spoil, make you don't tell me say it's spoil.
I feel there's some sense of, will I say, lack of confidence once they are with the ball. Everybody's trying not to make a mistake. Just give it to Bruno. I'm like, come on, there's more players than Bruno's on the pitch for the team. Do your own part. So it's not just getting more players, but getting the right players with the right mentality. I think it's time for Casemiro to go to Saudi Arabia. He has tried. It's not easy.
Jeremiah, at least Easy is echoing your thought on Uncle Casemiro.
It's time for Miro to go to
Of course, you
Saudi.
guys need to take all those old
Many of them
cards
need to move, that kind of thing.
I
So
would say this.
tried.
I would say this. I don't know much about Manchester United scouting, scouting abilities. Or no, I'll say I don't know much about Manchester United scouts' ability. But I would say this: at this point, if you cannot get the top players, when I say top, I'm talking about those ones with high profiles, then I think that the shift should be on getting quality players who are not yet on the radar.
Yeah, and there are so many quality players that they're not
I said
there.
something here. I said, look, there are some young players who are looking for good clubs who will keep on impressing against Manchester United. Look, it's obvious now that nobody is expecting Manchester United to be in the top 6 next season.
yeah.
So why don't you build? When I say build now, you need to get some guys out, a lot of guys out.
Yeah.
But then in doing that, make sure that you're getting players who are actually hungry.
Exactly.
It's a tough one. Players who it's easier for Ruben Amorim to bend to his will. People are blaming Pep Guardiola for saying that he doesn't want a large squad. You think he doesn't know what he is doing? He can no longer bend those ones. So I want young boys from the academy who still sees me as the god and who would follow my instructions to the letter.
Die for him.
Yeah, who would be who would be the system player that he wants? So I think Manchester United should look for players like that.
Make Guardiola get out. It's not be spoiled the old market for everybody. When he was buying, packing,
No,
the
now
whole thing.
you
Get
can't,
like
you
three-
can't, you can't blame
If
him.
you leave Guardiola, you have 3 11s.
You can't
telling
blame.
you,
You can't blame
He
him
used
for
to
that.
have almost like that.
You can't blame him.
There was a time
Now
when
he's now thinking of.
if you look at Manchester City's bench, you're scared.
Yeah, and there was perfect replacement for any person who was on the pitch already.
2 at least.
Yeah.
The third team will beat you.
Fact.
The third Manchester
But you
City
see,
team will beat you.
that's where mentality comes in. It's not about first team. After first team, what's happening? The second bench
keeping
still
it-
has that same
Keeping a
mentality.
large squad now is becoming more and more expensive. It became expensive
Of
for
course.
Manchester City because then you bought a lot of high profile, and keeping them on the bench becomes a problem. Just like I listened to a documentary I read something where Ose would talk to the medical. If the player is out injured in days of Joe Cole and not rest, he would ask how many weeks. If they say 1 week, say make it 3 weeks. The idea is that's irregular, but there's a guy who's equally good, who's on the bench, who's been yearning to play. So I can play him for at least 3, 4, 5 matches so that he will be happy. That was one way of keeping those players happy. Well, it's going to be a tough season. I won't say it's a tough season. It's been a very great season, irrespective of the fact that we wanted more. A lot of teams couldn't get more. Liverpool stole all the shine. But like I keep saying that I'm waiting for an slot next season. Let me see what it will do. But more importantly is the fact that transfer window, we're all looking forward to transfer window to see who will make their buy. But more importantly, we'd like to say congratulations also to Tottenham and Postecoglou who said that I always win something big in my second season, and he delivered.
He delivered.
Thank God they didn't sack him like they sacked Jose Mourinho a day or two before the finals. But then we're still here. We keep doing what we're doing, and of course, when the season is over, there's still a lot of football to talk about. My name is Adeoye Salem Shubaki, and I'd like to say thank you to Easy and thank you to Shegun Sams. I'll see you on the flip side.